ambient breeze fades in, layered with gentle ocean waves and distant birds. A warm pad enters, glowing like sunset light over water. A slow, relaxed 150 ppm kick starts pulsing, deep but smooth. Filtered chords slowly open, simmering with gentle reverb. Tiny bell arcs flutter faintly, setting the tone for the mellow journey ahead. Build up. A mellow bass line begins to roll underneath, warm and rounded. Soft percussion enters, rim clicks, harsh snares, and delicate hi-hats. A plucked synth melody begins to bloom, rich with harmonic color and movement. Everything sways in balance, provoking an evening drive along the coast. Reverb tails lengthen as anticipation builds toward the first groove. Gentle kick, lush chords, each sound feels sunlit and alive. Pad spread wide across the mix, with a faint vocal sample whispering drift away. Navarra's signature touch, a bright filtered guitar riff adds organic sparkle. This moment captures the golden hour glow, where rhythm meets warmth. Allowing the melodic layers to breathe. The plugs play a simpler pattern, harmonizing with airy pads. A soulful vocal chop repeats, distant and ethereal, like a fading memory. Light conga hits fill the background, giving subtle movement and texture. Emotion deepens as the track balances between nostalgia and calm joy. Percussion fades out, the guitar echoes softly over ambient pads. A low swell rises, a mixture of reverse textures and distant synth chords. Field recordings return, seagulls, waves, and soft wind sounds reappear. It feels like watching the last moments of sunlight fade into twilight. The full beat returns with a smoother, deeper bass. All melodic elements merge beautifully. Energy is calm but radiant. Every note feels like golden sunlight. A subtle harmonic shift to a major chord progression evokes peace and completion. The rhythm coasts effortlessly, inviting listeners to sway or close their eyes. The groove slowly unravels. First the bass fades, then percussion softens into gentle echoes. The final guitar chord lingers as the ambient pad washes out into silence. You're left with the sound of distant waves and a sense of calm contentment. Breeze fades in, layered with gentle ocean waves and distant birds. A warm pad enters, glowing like sunset light over water. A slow, relaxed 115 beat kick starts pulsing, deep but smooth. Filtered chords slowly open, simmering with gentle reverb. Tiny bell arcs flutter faintly, setting the tone for the mellow journey ahead. A mellow bass line begins to roll underneath, warm and rounded. Soft percussion enters, ring clicks, brush snares, and delicate hi-hats. A plucked synth melody begins to bloom, rich with harmonic color and movement. Everything sways in balance, invoking an evening drive along the coast. Reverb tails lengthen as anticipation builds toward the first groove. Groove lands smoothly, groovy bassline, gentle kick, lush chords. Each sound feels sunlit and alive. Pads spread wide across the mix, with a faint vocal sample whispering drift away. Never a signature touch, a bright filtered guitar riff adds organic sparkle. This moment captures the golden hour glow, where rhythm meets warmth. Rhythm sees back, allowing the melodic layers to breathe. The plucks play a simpler pattern, harmonizing with airy pads. A soulful vocal chop repeats, distant and ethereal, like a fading memory. Like conga hits fill the background, giving subtle movement and texture. Emotion deepens as the track balances between nostalgia and calm joy. Breakdown of percussion fades out, the guitar echoes softly over ambience. A low swell rises, a mixture of reversed textures and distant synth core. Field recordings return, seagulls, waves, and soft wind sounds reappear. It feels like watching the last moments of sunlight fade into twilight. The full beat returns with a smoother, deeper bass. All melodic elements merge beautifully. Flux. Energy is calm but radiant. Every note feels like golden sunlight. A subtle harmonic melodic shift to a major chord progression evokes peace and completion. The rhythm coasts effortlessly, inviting listeners to sway or close their eyes. The groove slowly unravels. First the bass fades, then percussion softens into gentle echoes. The final guitar chord lingers as the ambient pad washes out into silence. You're left with the sound of distant waves and a sense of calm contentment.
The track is flowing smoothly and constant beneath the pads, while your arms become more pronounced, weaving gentle melodic patterns. A faint vocal sample enters, more wordless at the narrow, adding depth and emotion. Ambient effects, like distant ripples and subtle oceanic texture, enhance the spatial feeling. Illuminate. The groove slowly builds tension, preparing the listener for the main deep groove. Groove solidifies, rapid sub-bass anchors the track, while the kick and percussion maintain a gentle hypnotic pulse. Arpeggios and soft synth lead shimmer above the bass, creating a flowing, mesmerizing melody. Time and journey to swell, providing emotional depth and atmospheric warmth. Every element interacts organically, making a listener feel as if they are drifting through a serene, nocturnal landscape. The energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. The mood is contemplative, with another type most times. All elements are there, flowing hands and ambient effects remain. A soft, layery synth swell, above all sweet, intelligent vocal. The atmosphere feels spacious, like standing on a quiet shoreline. Then, the sense of calm and discussion dominates the sensation. Bottom is return. The cohesive polished arrangement, solo automation adds dynamic adds volume swells, filter movements and delay echoes create depth, temperament, melodic and smooth. Energy is controlled, never overwhelming. The track reaches its emotional peak, enveloping the listener in deep serenity. Groove solidifies, rapid sub-bass anchors the track, while the kick and percussion maintain a gentle hypnotic pulse. Arpeggios and soft synth lead shimmer above the bass, creating a flowing, mesmerizing number of wells and solo oceanic textures enhance the spatial feeling. The track slowly builds tension, preparing the listener for the main deep groove. The groove solidifies, rapid sub-bass anchors the track, while the kick and percussion maintain a gentle hypnotic pulse. Arpeggios and soft synth lead shimmer above the bass, creating a flowing, mesmerizing number of emotional depth and atmospheric warmth. Every element interacts organically, making the listener feel as if they are drifting through a serene, nocturnal landscape. The energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. Percussion retreats slightly, melodic elements take focus. The solid blood synth drums give the table bending, during nocturnal blends. The energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. With soft, airy pads that gradually swell, creating a vast aperture. A gentle kick enters at 1/18, came smooth and rounded, paired with subtle soft sub-bass pulses, soft and rounded, cross the stereo field, reminiscent of moonlight glinting over calm water. Tiny perfella notes, brushed snares, and hi-hats fade in to suggest rhythm without overwhelming the serenity. By the end of the intro, the listener is fully immersed in a hypnotic nocturnal mood. Flowing smoothly and hypnotically beneath the pads, layered arcs become more pronounced, weaving gentle melodic patterns. A faint vocal sample enters, wordless ethereal, adding depth and emotion. Ambient effects like distant reverb wells and subtle oceanic textures enhance the spatial feeling. The track subtly builds tension, preparing the listener for the main deep groove. Groove solidifies, rounded sub-bass anchors the track while the kick and percussion maintain a gentle hypnotic pulse. Arpeggios and soft synth leads shimmer above the bass, creating a flowing, mesmerizing melody that can continue to swell, providing emotional depth and atmospheric warmth. Every element interacts organically, making the listener feel as if they are drifting through a serene nocturnal landscape. The energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. Energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. The firmly immersive, the mood is contemplative for the other to emotional resonance. Rhythm fades, only paps and ambient effects remain. A slow, airy synth swell evolves, illuminated by delicate focus. The atmosphere feels spacious, like standing on a quiet shoreline under moonlight. A sense of calm and introspection dominates this section, giving listeners a moment to breathe. All elements return, the bassline, arps, pads, percussion, a cohesive, polished arrangement. Subtle automation adds dynamics, volumes, fills, filter movements, and delayed echoes create depth. The groove remains hypnotic and smooth. Energy is controlled, never overwhelming. The track reaches its emotional peak, enveloping the listener in deep serenity. Flow solidifies rounded sub-bass anchors the track while the kick and percussion maintain a gentle hypnotic pulse. Arpeggios and soft synth leads shimmer above the bass, creating a flowing, mesmerizing melody. Pad continue to swell, providing emotional depth and atmospheric warmth. Every element interacts organically, making the listener feel as if they are drifting through a serene nocturnal landscape. The energy is deep yet calm, perfect for late night lounges or reflective solo moments. The mood is contemplative with an undertone emotion of resonance. Rhythm fades, only paps and ambient effects remain. A soft, airy synth swell evolves, away by delicate voco. The atmosphere feels spacious, like standing on a quiet shoreline under moonlight. A sense of calm and introspection dominates this section, giving listeners a moment to breathe. Final elements return, the bassline, arcs, pads, and percussion, a cohesive, polished arrangement. Subtle automation adds dynamics, volumes, fills, filter movements, and delayed echoes create depth. The groove remains hypnotic and smooth. Energy is controlled, never overwhelming. The track reaches its emotional peak, enveloping the listener in deep serenity.
Build a deep inside a serenity, pads and melody and seaside sounds, wave distant seagulls. A mellow rounded kick enters at 150 BPM, paired with a warm sub-bass that flows smoothly beneath the pads. Soft octopus shimmer across the stereo field, adding melodic highlights. The overall tone evokes calm, reflective moments beside the ocean. By the end of the intro, the listener is fully immersed in a serene seaside environment.
Bassline deepens and flows gently, complementing the relaxed chord progression. Light percussion elements, soft hi-hats, subtle congas, energy to introduce rhythm. Pads and chord layers swell, creating an expansive, immersive texture. Airy melodic accents add emotional warmth without increasing intensity. The track gently builds toward the main deep, chill groove while maintaining calm energy. The full groove emerges, flowing bassline, soft kicks, subtle percussion, and layered pads. Chord progression expands, creating warmth and depth across the mix. Placebos and melodic accents enhance the relaxed, melodic atmosphere. Ambient effects, filtered reverb, gentle echoes fill the space and create a cinematic feel. The energy remains smooth and hypnotic, perfect for sunset chill sessions or lounge listening. Percussion and bass simplify slightly, melodic layers take prominence. Pads and chord layers evolve gently, introducing harmonic variety. Arpeggio shimmer softly, weaving in subtle melodic textures. Ambient seaside effects, waves, distant gulls enhance the immersive tribal feel. Listeners experience calm, reflective relaxation with a soothing, deep, chill vibe. Rhythmic elements fade, leaving only pads, arps, and ambient textures. A gentle harmonic swell adds emotional depth and a reflective pause. Filtered echoes and soft melodic motifs float across the stereo field, enhancing immersion. The breakdown emphasizes serenity and atmospheric calm before the final groovers. Follow us return, flowing bass, soft kick percussion, pads and melodic experience. The groove remains smooth, hypnotic, and deeply relaxing, preserving the seaside chill energy. Listeners are fully enveloped in a tranquil, melodic, deep house experience. The full groove emerges, flowing bass lines, soft kicks, subtle percussion, and layered pads. Chord progression expands, creating warmth and depth across the mix. Placcentos and melodic accents enhance the relaxed, melodic atmosphere. Ambient effects, filtered reverb, gentle echoes fill the space and create a cinematic feel. Percussion and bass fade first, passos and ambient textures linger. Seaside sounds, waves, and soft breeze slowly dissolve into silence. The track closes with a peaceful, reflective, and cinematic, deep, chill house vibe.
The triangle light merges, fiery baseline, soft kick reverse, and relax tone. Slowly dissolve into silence. The dark closes and the beats go floating in expanses, immersive texture, airy melodic accents add emotional warmth without increasing intensity. The track gently builds toward the main deep chill groove while maintaining calm energy. The full groove emerges, flowing bassline, soft kick, subtle percussion. And progression expands, creating warmth and depth across the mix. Placcentos and melodic accents enhance the relaxed, melodic atmosphere. Ambient effects, filtered reverb, gentle echoes fill the space, creating a cinematic feel. The energy remains smooth and hypnotic, perfect for sunset chill sessions or lounge listening. The passenger is fully immersed in a serene seaside environment. In a serene seaside environment, as an immersed in a serene seaside environment. Seaside environment. The passion and bass simplify slightly, melodic layers take prominence. Pads and chord layers evolve gently, introducing harmonic variety. Arpeggio shimmers softly, weaving in subtle melodic ambient textures. Ambient seaside effects with distant gulls enhance the immersive, tranquil feel. Listeners experience calm and reflective relaxation with a soothing, deep, chill vibe. The passenger is fully immersed in a serene seaside environment. Seaside environment, and as an immersed in a serene seaside environment. In a serene seaside environment, and a serene seaside environment, in a serene seaside environment. In a serene seaside environment, and a serene seaside environment. The full groove emerges, floating bassline, soft kick, subtle percussion. Percussion accents evolve gently, introducing harmonic variety. Arpeggio shimmers softly, weaving in subtle melodic. Ambient seaside effects with distant gulls enhance the immersive, tranquil feel. Listeners experience calm, reflective relaxation with a soothing, deep, chill vibe. The passenger is fully immersed in a serene bass, soft kick, percussion, pads, and melodics. Automation adds subtle movement, filter sweeps, volume swells, and delay effects, keeping the mix dynamic. The groove remains smooth, hypnotic, and deeply relaxing, preserving the seaside chill energy. Listeners are fully enveloped in a tranquil, melodic, deep house experience. The passenger is fully immersed in a tranquil, melodic, deep house experience. And a serene seaside environment. The percussion bass, heavy verse, half bassline, soft and covers, and confidence, chord layers evolve gently, introducing harmonic variety. Arpeggio shimmers softly, weaving in subtle melodic, ambient subtle melodic textures. Enhance the immersive, tranquil feel. Listeners experience calm, reflective relaxation with a soothing, deep, chill vibe. Tranquil feel, with a serene seaside environment. Confident and elegance fade, leaving only absent and ambient textures. A gentle harmonic smile adds emotional depth and a reflective pause. Filtered echoes and soft melodic motifs float across the stereo field, enhancing immersion. The breakdown emphasizes serenity and atmospheric calm before the final groove returns. The The listener is fully immersed in the tranquil melodic deep house experience.
The track opens with soft tropical paths, gentle ocean wave samples, and distant bird calls to evoke an island atmosphere. A smooth rounded kick enters at 140 BPM, paired with a deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Light percent elements such as shakers and sawbones fade in to establish rhythm without breaking the calm. Delicate plus synths shimmer in the background, adding melodic vibe reminiscent of sunlight blazing on water. By the end of the intro, the listener is transported to a serene tropical setting. Build up flows smoothly, adding depth and motion to the track. Percussion layers increase slightly with goes and soft hi-hats complementing the tropical rhythm. Pads and melodic blood swell, creating a warm, immersive texture. Gentle ambient effects like filtered reverb sweeps enhance the sense of open space. The build-up gradually prepares the listener for the main tropical. Soft kick, tropical percussion, and shimmering melodic elements. Plus synthos dance lightly across the stereo field. Feel it with a deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the quick stand, maintaining a relaxed and immersive environment. The energy is smooth and steady, perfect for beach lounges, sunset chill sessions, or poolside listening. The tropical elements create a subtle, carefree mood while keeping the deep house foundation intact. Percussion simplifies slightly to allow melodic elements to shine. Bassline continues to pulse hypnotically, maintaining the groove. Pads and plugs evolve gently, adding harmonic interest in maintaining the tropical ambience. Soft environmental textures, waves, gentle wind, distant bird sounds enhance the immersive island feel. Listeners feel both relaxed and energized, transported to a calm. Rhythm and bass fade, leaving only pads, melodic plugs, and ambient effects. A gentle swell of harmonic chords creates a reflective pause. Filtered tropical percussion and soft toss float in the background, adding texture and anticipation. The breakdown emphasizes calm, cinematic items, serenity, pulling for the final groove. Final drum. All elements return, flowing bass, kick, tropical percussion, reverbs, and automation adds subtle dynamics. Volume swells, filter movements, and echoing effects to keep the arrangement alive. The groove remains smooth, immersive, and sun-soaked, maintaining a relaxed tropical energy. The track reaches its peak warmth and calm, leaving the listener fully immersed in the island's atmosphere. Island atmosphere. The full groove arrives, flowing bass lines, soft kick, tropical percussion, and shimmering melodic elements. Plucked signals dance lightly across the stereo field. Violet Atlas vibe. The track opens with soft tropical paths, gentle ocean wave samples, and distant bird calls to evoke an island atmosphere. The smooth rounded kick enters at 1:15 PM, paired with a deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Light impressive elements such as shakers and soft goes fade into established rhythm without breaking the calm. Delicate plucked synths shimmer in the background, adding melodic reminiscent of the sunlight blazing on water. By the end of the intro, the listener is transported to a serene tropical setting. The bassline flows smoothly, adding depth and motion to the track. Percussion layers increase slightly, with bows and soft hi-hats complementing the tropical rhythm. Pads and melodic plugs swell, creating a warm, immersive texture. Gentle ambient effects, like filtered reverb sweeps, enhance the sense of open space. The build-up gradually prepares the listener for the main deep tropical groove. Main drop, the full groove arrives, flowing bassline, soft kick, tropical percussion, and shimmering melodic elements. Plugs and melodic kick enters at 1:15 PM, paired with the deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Fired with a deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Like percussive elemental textures, waves, gentle wind, distant bird sounds enhance the immersive island feel. Listeners feel both relaxed and energized, transported to a calm, unfunny environment. Rhythm and bass fade, leaving only pads, melodic plugs, and ambient effects. A gentle swell of harmonic chords creates a reflective pause. Filtered tropical percussion, the listener is floated in the background, adding texture and anticipation. The breakdown emphasizes calm, cinematic island serenity before the final groove cutting. All elements return, flowing bass, kick, tropical percussion to the tracks. Percussion layers increase slightly, with bows and soft hi-hats complementing the tropical rhythm. Pads and melodic plugs swell, create a warm, immersive texture. Gentle ambient effects, like filtered reverb sweeps, enhance the sense of open space. The build-up gradually prepares the listener for the main deep tropical groove. The full groove arrives, flowing bassline, soft kick, tropical percussion.
Comical percussion, and shimmering melodic elements. Plugs in the melodic kick enters us to stereo theme, paired with a deep sub-bass that subtly anchors the groove. Rhythm and bass fade, leaving only paths. Melodic books shine to bass like a tunes to pulse hypnotically, maintaining the groove as the plugs devolve gently, adding harmonic interest and maintaining the tropical ambience. Soft environmental textures glaze gentle wind, distant bird sounds, and enhance the sense of open space. The build-up gradually prepares the listener for the main deep tropical groove. Rhythm and bass fade, leaving only paths. Melodic plugs and ambient effects, the bass melodically maintaining the groove paths and the plugs to stereo feed while keeping the deep house foundation intact. Filtered tropical percussion and subtly anchors the groove.
Gentle symphony fades in, fake sea breeze texture. Sub-bass pulses subtly under a filtered kick. Ocean soundscape and soft vocal hums in stereo. Gradual layering of plucks and shakers for forward motion.
Waves chase the sound, glass lines the sky. You and I float through the night, nowhere to hide, only time. Minimal percussion, tight low end. Light palm muted guitar or synthetic pluck accents. Every female vocal smooth and breathy. The road and sea collide, reflections in your eyes. Pad brighten and widen. Sub-bass deepens, small riser builds tension. Slight delay on vocal tails. Drift with me through the silver line. Tight side chain, sub-bass groove. Warm synth like mimics ocean waves. Light reverb slash percussion, spacious mix perfect for headphones or car drives. Lyrics chase the sounds, drop out. Reverb swell, soft vocal echo, drift away. Gentle arpeggio builds with filtered noise. Sub returns gradually like a wave crest. Full mix returns with thicker low end.
We're endless tonight.
Lead with pad harmonies and soft sub-bass oscillation. Reflections in your eyes, pad brighten and widen. Sub-bass deep and small riser bend a light palm muted guitar or synthetic pluck accent. Every female vocal smooth and breathy. The road and sea collide, reflections in your eyes, pad brighten and widen. Sub-bass deepens, small riser builds tension. Slight delay on vocal tails. Drift with me, through the silver line. Tight side chain, sub-bass groove. Warm synth like mimics ocean waves. Light with me, drift with me, through the silver line. Tight side chain, sub-bass groove. Warm synthless mimics ocean deep and small riser builds tension. Slight delay of vocal tails. Drift with me, through the silver line. Tight side chain, sub-bass groove. Warm synth like mimics ocean waves.
Soul filter LFO.
Light reverb slash percussion, spacious mix perfect for headphones or car drives.
Bass mix perfect for headphones or car drives.
Bass and drums drop out. Reverb swells, soft vocal echo drift away. Gentle arpeggio builds with filtered noise. Sub returns gradually like a wave crest. Full mix returns with thicker low end.
We're endless to noble. We're endless tonight.
Gentle synth pad fades in, fake sea breeze texture. Sub-bass pulses subtly under a filtered kick. Ocean soundscape and soft vocal hums in stereo. Gradual layering of plucks and shakers for forward motion.
Waves chase the sound, glass lines the sky. You and I float through the night, nowhere to hide, only time. Minimal percussion, tight low end. Light palm muted guitar or synthetic pluck accents. Very female vocal, smooth and breathy. The road and sea collide, reflections in your eyes. Pad brighten and widen. Sub-bass deepen, small riser builds tension. Slight delay on vocal tails.
Drift with me, through the silver line.
Tight side chain, sub-bass groove, warm synth mimics ocean waves. Light reverb, splash percussion, spacious mix perfect for headphones or car drives.
Bass and drums drop out, reverb swell, soft vocal echo drift away.
Gentle arpeggio built with filtered noise, sub returns gradually like a wave crest. Full mix returns with thicker low end. Add extra vocal layer, we're endless tonight. Reflections in your eyes, pat brighten and widen. Nowhere to hide. Minimal percussion, tight low end, light palm muted guitar or synthetic pluck accents. Airy female vocal, smooth and breathy. The road and sea collide. Reflections in your eyes, pat brighten and widen. Sub bass deepen, small riser builds tension. Slight delay on vocal hills. Drift with me, drift with me. Through the silver line, tag brighten and widen. Sub bass deepens, small riser builds tension. Slight delay on vocal tails. Drift with me through the silver lines. Right side chain, sub bass groove, warm synth for mimics ocean waves. Slight delay on vocal tails.
Spacious mix perfect for headphones or typos with Pelto. Drift with me, drop out.
Lever silver line, tight side chain, sub bass groove, warm synth lead mimics ocean waves. A reverb, splash percussion, spacious mix, perfect for headphones or car drives.
Bass and drums drop out, reverb swell, soft vocal echo drift away.
Gentle arpeggio built with filtered noise, sub returns gradually like a wave crest. Full mix returns with thicker low end. Add extra vocal layer, we're endless tonight. We're endless tonight. We're endless tonight.
Drum slowly fades in deep and rounded. Reverse pads swirl with facial reverb tails. Filter rolling bassline enters subtly. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Rhythm moves through static light, lost inside the sleepless night. Every sound becomes a flame, calling out your name. Deep muted chords in A minor, slight delay on percussive blocks. Reverb space builds the club atmosphere. It's just and the sound pulling me underground. That's wide and low tom rolls echo left right. With automations add sense of depth. Fall into the echo, let it take control. Rolling bassline becomes dominant, side chain and continuous. Filter rolling bassline enters subtly. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Rhythm moves through static light, lost inside the sleepless night. Every sound becomes a flame, calling out your name. Deep muted chords in A minor, slight delay on percussive plugs. Reverb space builds the club atmosphere. It's just you and the sound pulling me underground. Tabs wide and low down rolls echo left right. Automations add sense of depth. Deep muted chords in A minor, slight delay on percussive plugs. Reverb spaced into the echo, let it take control. Rolling bassline becomes dominant, side chain to continuous. Chord pulse and sync with bass rhythm. Percuss and tight snare builders. Crisp hi-hat, subtle vocal chops, echo chops echoing through reverb rap. Spatial rhythm through line. Hit drum sound, leave bass, lateral back and extra chord. Layer added for drive. Delay line becomes dominant, side-chained and continuous. Chords pulse and sync with bass rhythm. Percussion tightens, snare ghosts, crisp hi-hats, subtle vocal chops echoing through reverb layers. Spatial effects create a 3D sound illusion. Kick drops out, leaving bass pad drones. Vocal echoes trail off in infinite reverb. Use granular delay sweeps and reverse risers. Snare roll rebuilds tension for final drop. Full mix returns, bass thickens. Extra chord layer added for drive. Delay automation widens sound stage. Gradual fade with bass oscillation entailing reverb. Distant kick drum slowly fades in deep and rounded. Reverse paths swirl with spatial reverb tails. Filtered rolling bassline enters subtly. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Rhythm moves through static light, lost inside the sleepless night. Every sound becomes a flame, calling out your name. Deep muted chords in A minor, slight delay on percussive blocks. Reverb space builds the club atmosphere. It's just you and the sound pulling me underground. Pads wide and low tom rolls echo left right. Reverb automations add sense of depth. Fall into the echo, let it take control. Rolling bass line becomes dominant. Chords pulse in sync with bass rhythm. Percussion tightens, snare ghost crisp hi-hats. Subtle vocal chops echoing through reverb layers. Spatial effects create a 3D sound illusion. Chops illusion, 3D sound illusion. Free drops out, leaving bass pad drops. Vocal echoes trail off in infinite reverb. Use granular delay sweeps and reverse risers. Never roll rebuilds tension for final drop. Short vocal texture whispers deeper in the background. Layout added for drive. Delay automation widens sound stage. Gradual fade with bass oscillation entailing reverb. The track opens with deep atmospheric pads and subtle cinematics. Melodics, a muted kick at one ATP just jealous, supported by a rolling sub-bass that establishes the lateral. Filter brush shivers suddenly introducing the melodic theme in a restrained, mysterious way. Ambient sound, soft echoes, distant sweeps, create space and tension by the end of the intro. Listeners are immersed in a dark, hypnotic environment. The bass line thickens and deepens, flowing seamlessly beneath the pads. Arpeggios grow brighter and more prominent, weaving a cinematic melodic pattern. Like percussive elements, hi-hats, subtle snares enter gradually, adding rhythm without breaking the dark, moody feel. Reverb and delay enhance the silence of depth, stretching the soundscape and emphasizing space. The track steadily builds tension toward the main drop while retaining its reflected darkness. The full groove arrives, dark pulling bass, deep kick, and cinematic arcs dominate the mix. Pads swell to add emotional weight while melodic synth layers float over the rhythm. Subtle effects, filtered risers, echoing plugs, and ambient texture enhance the cinematic feel. Energy is deep and hypnotic, evoking a mysterious mid vibe rather than a high intensity beat. The track's melodic depth and atmospheric elements immerse the listener in a nocturnal dreamscape. Simplifies slightly, the bassline and arms take center stage. Melodic layers evolve slowly, adding tension and harmonic richness. Pads and atmospheric set textures maintain spaciousness, lost cinematic elements, soft sweeps and subtle backs add drama. The mood is introspective, darkly emotional, and hypnotically flowing. Rhythm fades, only arpeggios, pads and ambient layers remain. The filtered synth swell and harmonic echoes create a sense of anticipation. The breakdown emphasizes reflection and cinematic depth, drawing the listener into a suspended nocturnal state. Subtle melodic motifs float in the background, maintaining connection to the main theme. All elements return, deep bass kicks, cinematic arcs, pads and melodic layers. Automation adds movement and dynamics, features sweeps, volume swell. track opens with deep atmospheric pads and subtle cinematics. A muted kick at 180 BPM enters gently, supported by a rolling sub-bass that establishes the nocturnal filtered up shimmer subtly, introducing the melodic theme in a restrained, mysterious way. Ambient sounds, soft echoes, distant sweeps create space and tension. By the end of the intro, listeners are immersed in a dark, hypnotic element. The bass line thickens and deepens, flowing seamlessly beneath the pads. Arpeggios grow brighter and more prominent, weaving a cinematic melodic pattern. Light percussive elements, hi-hats, subtle snares enter gradually, adding rhythm without breaking the dark, moody feel. Reverb and delay enhance the sense of depth, stretching the soundscape and emphasizing space. The track steadily builds tension toward the main drop while retaining its reflective darkness. The full groove arrives, dark rolling bass, deep kick, and cinematic arcs dominate the mix. Pads swell to add emotional weight, while melodic synth layers float over the rhythm. Subtle effects, filter riser, echoing clucks, and ambient texture enhance the cinematic feel. Energy is deep and hypnotic, floating a mysterious midnight vibe rather than a high-intensity peak. The track's melodic depth and atmospheric elements immerse the listener in a nocturnal dreamscape. Percussion simplifies slightly, the bass line and arcs take center stage. Melodic layers evolve slowly, adding tension and harmonic richness. Pads and atmospheric textures maintain spaciousness, while cinematic elements, soft sweeps and subtle X add drama. The mood is introspective, darkly emotional, and hypnotically flowing. Fades, only arpeggios, pads, and ambient layers remain. A filtered synth swell and harmonic echoes create a sense of anticipation. The breakdown emphasizes reflection and cinematic depth, drawing the listener into a suspended nocturnal state. Subtle melodic motifs float both in the background, maintaining connection to the main theme. All elements return, deep bass, kick, cinematic arcs, pads, and melodic layers. Automation adds movement and dynamics, filter sweeps, volume swells, and delayed effects. The groove remains deep, hypnotic, and melodic, preserving the nocturnal, reflective energy. Listeners experience a peak of emotional immersion without high energy intensity. All elements return, deep bass, kick, cinematic arcs linger. Ambient echoes slowly dissolve into silence. The track closes with a deep, reflective, and hypnotic nocturnal vibe. Emerges, warm bassline, soft kick, organic percussion interlocks smoothly. A gentle rounded kick enters at 1/4 BP, a variation. Organic depth, sensitively adding melodic. By the end of the intro, listeners feel immersed in a relaxed sunset starter evidence across the urban landscapes of sonic horizon. The build-up gently leads the listener towards the main lounge groove.
night continues its flowing motion, maintaining a gentle groove. Progression evolves subtly, introducing emotional variation. Soft atmospheric effects, field recordings, airy paths enhance the immersive sunset vibe. The mood is calm, meditative, and ward golden hour serenity. All elements return, bass, kick, organic percussion. Animation introduce subtle movement, filter sweeps, volume swells, until details and moods. Warm, hypnotic, maintaining the sunset lounge energy. The track reaches its emotional peak while obtaining a calm, relaxed atmosphere. All elements return, bass, kick, organic percussion. Automation introduces subtle movement, filter sweeps, volume swells, and dilute to calm. The groove remains smooth, warm, and hypnotic, maintaining the sunset lounge energy. The track reaches its emotional peak while retaining a calm, relaxed atmosphere. Built up gently, leads the listener towards the main lounge groove. A drop of groove emerges, warm, bassline, soft kick, and organic percussion interlock smoothly. The groove remains smooth, warm, and hypnotic, making the listener immersed in warmth and calm.
The track begins with warm, glowing pads and soft atmosphere. The bed decks to sunset. A gentle kick enters at 100 deep, enters every month, in the making of various pulses. Organic percussion, focus, feeling delicate pockets, central twinkle, subtly adding melodic shimmer across the stereo field. By the end of the intro, listeners feel immersed and relaxed. The flows slowly flowing with warmth and depth. Addition of percussive elements, which snares and soft hi-hats and subtle motion. Chord layers expand, complementing the pads, creating an expansive sonic arousal. Early melodic accents enter, adding emotional texture without increasing energy to abruptly build up gently, leads the listener towards the main lounge. The full groove emerges, warm, bassline, soft kick, and organic percussion interlocks smoothly, bats and thunders of warmth. Enters ever like a key, introduces an emotional variation, soft atmospheric effects, field recordings, airy paths, and enhance the immersive sunset vibe. The mood is calm, meditative, and warm with warmth. The golden hour, surrender no doubt. All elements return, bass, kick, organic percussion. Automation introduces subtle movement, filter sweeps, flowing swells, and delayed tails enhance texture. The groove remains smooth, warm, and hypnotic, maintaining the sunset wild energy. The track reaches its emotional peak while retaining a calm, relaxed atmosphere. The full groove emerges, warm, bassline, soft kick, and organic percussion flows all slowly into silence. The track closes with a serene, reflective vibe, making the listener immersed in warmth and calm. Remain smooth, warm, and hypnotic, linger. Final atmospheric echoes dissolve slowly into silence. The track closes with a serene, reflective vibe, leaving the listener immersed in warmth and calm. And calm. And calm. The track begins with warm, glowing paths and soft atmosphere set jet. A gentle melodic kick enters every 100 deep, enters every 100 deep, and immersed in warmth. And calm. The calm. The calm. The calm. The track begins with warm, glowing paths and soft kick and organic percussion interlock smoothly. Bats and chord and flux serene, reflective vibe, leaving the listener immersed in warmth and calm. Track closes with a serene, reflective vibe, leaving the listener immersed in warmth and calm. Calm. The track begins with warm, glowing paths and soft canvassing set gem. The gentle round kick enters every wonder deep, enters every wonder deep, and then tunnel first in warmth. The calm, the gentle relic of purpose float across the stereo field, adding emotional resonance. The breakdown emphasizes space's serenity, like watching the sun sink below the horizon. Final drop. All elements are soft waves fade in with faint seagull echoes. The sound of evening beach, gentle ambient pads and filtered synth plucks, shimmering golden tones set deep. Rounded kicks, solid joints wrapped in reverb, setting a smooth chill house tempo. Soft guitar-like chords blend with warm synth flames, entering sync. The bass line starts rolling deep yet soft, carrying the emotion of the setting sun. A light arpeggio dances across stereo space, shivering like light reflections on calm water. Faint vocal chops echo through reverb, introducing a gentle human warmth. The groove blooms into full color, a lush, deep melodic progression unfolds. The bassline thickens with harmonic overtones, perfectly gliding with layered plucks. Vocal chops become more rhythmic, adding motion without words. Everything feels radiant and slow burning, a sonic portrait of golden hour calm. Sidechain compression breathes life into the pads, giving that smooth, pulsing deep house heartbeat. Focus shifts to melody and atmosphere. Soft background chords swell, then fade. The bass line slides elegantly between notes, while reversed effects and distant shakers maintain flow. A filtered guitar-like synth riff adds emotion, something nostalgic, intimate, and cinematic. The groove blooms into full color, a lush, deep melodic progression unfolds. Bassline thickens with harmonic overtones, perfectly gliding with layered plucks. Vocal chops become more rhythmic, adding motion without words. Everything's returned with full warmth and gentle drive. The melody evolves, extra karmic sparkle in the background. Deep pads envelop the mix while subtle high-ends and sparkles feel like stars merging. The track radiates contentment, groove-driven yet deeply emotional. Slow fade out, the percussion softens and the pads drift into an ambient wash. Final echoes of the vocal fade into the nightmare, closing the scene in pure tranquility. shakers maintain flow. A filtered guitar like synth riff adds emotion, something nostalgic, intimate, and cinematic. Breakdown. Drums fade away, the track becomes ethereal. Shimmering pads, soft roses and glowing ambient textures. A single vocal phrase echoes on subtle high-end synth sparkles feel like stars emerging. The track radiates contentment, groove-driven yet deeply emotional. Drums and bass return with fuller warmth and gentle drive. The melody evolves, extra comic sparkle in the background. Deep pads envelop the mix, while subtle high-end synth sparkles feel like stars emerging. The track radiates contentment, groove-driven yet deeply emotional. Slow fade out, percussion softens and pads drift into an ambient wash. Final echoes of the vocal fade into the night air, closing the scene in pure tranquility.
Final crackle fades in vintage texture. Soft root chords in E minor. Gentle analog bass wall enters under a 4/4 kick. Shaker loop with subtle stereo movement. Ambient vocal chops whispering stay a while. Skies painted in amber tones. Seance beneath our bones. Every breath feels slow, feels right. Lost between the day and night. One electric piano, light sidechain. Percussion, room taps, brush, there's smooth combo, bass low, rapid analog warmth. No words left, just rhythm flow. Heart sync where the sunlight goes. Add airy synth layers with reverb tail. Filter sweet, builds gently. Vocal delay, widens. Feel it fade, feel it rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Rush paths open up a sidechain pulsing. Light clap, hi-hat groove, soul analog, life's melody. Strip down the pads, bass, and a filtered vocal phrase. Feet wind through rooftop passion of drums and percussions. Full sound returns, slightly brighter mix. Layer vocal ad-libs, stay, don't let go. Skies painted in amber tones. City hums beneath our bones. Every breath feels slow, feels right. Lost between the day and night. One electric piano, light sidechain. Percussion, one tap, brush, there's smooth combo, bass low, running analog warmth. No words left, just rhythm flow. Heart sync where the sunlight goes. Add airy synth layers with reverb tail. Filter sweet, builds gently. Vocal delay, builds gently. Filter sweet, builds gently. Feel it fade, feel it rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Lush paths open up a sidechain pulsing. Light clap, hi-hat groove, soul analog, life's melody. Life's melody. Feel it fade, feel it rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Lush paths open up a sidechain pulsing. Light clap, hi-hat groove, soul analog, life's melody. Life's melody. Feel it fade and rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Rooms tight. Open up with sidechain pulsing. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Soul analog. Life's melody. Life's melody. Deep down the pads, bass, and a filtered vocal phrase. Fade wind through rooftop passion of drums and percussions. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Soul analog. Lead melody. Strip down the pads, bass, and a filtered vocal phrase. Fade wind rooftop passion of drums and percussions. Fade wind rooftop passion. Rooftop passion of drums and percussions. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Soul analog. Light melody.
Final crackle fades in beam texture. Soft rose chords in E minor. Gentle analog bass well enters under a 4/4 kick. Shaking loop with subtle stereo movement. Ambient vocal chops whispering stay a while. Yeah. Skies painted in amber tones. City hums beneath our bones. Every breath feels slow, feels right. Lost between the day and night. Warm electric piano lights that chain. Percussion, rim taps, brush snare, smooth combo. Bass low, rounded, analog warmth. No words left, just rhythm flow. Hearts sink where the sunlight goes. Added eerie synth layers with reverb till filter sweet builds gently. Vocal delay widens. Feel it fade, feel it rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Rush pads open up with sidechain pulsing. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Subtle analog. Lead through so and night. Let's melody. Skip down to pads, bass, and a filtered vocal phrase. Failed ambient rooftop, junction of drums and percussions. Full sound returns slightly. Brighter mix, layer vocal, add let go. Smooth and go. Words left, just rhythm flow. Heart sink where the sunlight goes. Add airy synth layers with reverb tail. Filter sweep but jet and night. Warm electric piano light side chain. Percussion, rim taps, brush snare, smooth combo. Bass low, rounded, analog warmth. No words left, just rhythm flow. Heart sink where the sunlight goes. Add airy synth layers with reverb tail. Filter sweep builds gently. Vocal delay widens. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Rush pads open up with sidechain pulsing. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Subtle analog. Lead through so and night. Let's melody. Feel it fade, feel it rise. Golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Rush pads open up with sidechain pulsing. Light clap and hi-hat groove. Subtle analog. Let melody. Feel it rise, golden hour in your eyes. Groovy deep bass line. Lash pads, open up with sidechain pulsing. Light clap and hi-hat groove. So analog, last melody. Down the pads, bass and a filtered vocal phrase. Chain windproof phrase. Gradual reintroduction of drums and percussions. Full sound design, slightly brighter mix. Say, don't let go, let go. Smooth and go. Of drums and percussions. Rolls up, bass fades in. Soft hi-hats with stereo delay. Every time percussion in a mono slowly open and with a bass filter. Whispered vocal ad, let's feel it, slow it down.
The lights are fading low. The city starts to breathe. There's shadows in the glow. Moving close to me. Smooth electric piano chords. Gentle percussive hits.
Vocal returns, fill the space. Fill the space. Ledge will fade out with bass and pad harmony.
The lights are fading low. The city starts to breathe. Your shadows in the glow. Moving close to me. Smooth electric piano chords. Gentle percussive hits.
Cold rim slow. Of the rhythm, looking for the way we start. Nothing was above me, but in the dark. Filter opens, paths brighten. Adds to the lock, I just and kicks starts to tighten. Add it, flow may ride. Feel the night come alive. Silky groovy bass like 18. Layer chords, sidechain compression. Light vocal chops turn wide and shimmering third feels fill the space. Bass drops out. Ethereal absolute soft reverse effects.
Filtered vocal echo. Let it flow. small build using toms and noise risers. Full groove returns, vocal inevitably. Gradual fade out with bass and pad harmony. Caught inside the rhythm, floating right inside the rhythm, floating with the bay. Floating's where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter always pants brighten and solo arpeggio synth. Kickstarts until synth. Kickstarts a tight hello. Feel the night come alive. Silky groove, bassline takes lead. Layer chords with sidechain compression. Line full of chops, stereo line. Add subtle and reverb tails, fill the space. Bass up, reverb tail, bell, fill the space. Deep, rolling sub-bass fades in. Soft hi-hats, tap with stereo delay. Every path progression in A minor slowly opening. With the low pass filter, whispered vocal ad-lib. Slow it down, let the fading low. The city starts to breathe. Your shadows in the glow, moving close to me. Smooth electric piano chords, gentle percussive hits, conga rim shots. Vocals airy, slightly reverb, heavy, mixed, low. Yeah, caught inside the rhythm, floating where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter opens, pads brighten, add subtle arpeggio synth. Kick starts to tighten. Let it flow, let it ride, feel the night come alive. Silky groovy bassline takes lead. Layer chords with sidechain compression. Light vocal chops, stereo widen. Shimmering reverb tails fill the space. Let us drops out. Ethereal pad solo and soft reverse effects. Filtered vocal echo, small builds using toms and noise risers. Full groove returns, vocal chopped and echoed rhythmically. Gradual fade out with bass and pad harmony. Inside the rhythm, floating where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter opens, pads brighten, add subtle arpeggio synth. Key starts to tighten, let it flow, let it ride. Caught inside the rhythm, floating where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter opens, pads brighten, in the dark. Let it flow, let it ride, floating where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter opens, pads brighten, add subtle arpeggio synth. Key starts to tighten. Caught inside the rhythm, floating where we start. Nothing else can move me like the sound in the dark. Filter opens, pads brighten, add subtle arpeggio synth. Key starts to tighten. Let it flow, let it ride. Feel the night come alive. Silky groovy bassline takes lead. Layered chords with sidechain compression. Light vocal chops, stereo widen. Shimmering reverb tails fill the space. Bass drops out. Ethereal pad solo and soft reverse effects. Filter vocal echo, let it flow.
Soft ambient tones open the track. Distant wind chimes, filtered white noise, and the slow pad swell in shimmering blue hues. The kick slides in gently, deep and muffled at 120 beat BPM, pulsing like a heartbeat in space. A low flowing bass line emerges, almost liquid in texture, guiding the listener into a deep nighttime rhythm. Reverb drenched synth plucks sparkle faintly like light reflecting off moonlit waves. Build up the subtle percussive layers, crisp hi-hat, shakas and rim clicks begin weaving in. The shimmering pads boom wire, filling the stereo field like mist. A distant female vocal layer enters. Wordless, breathy, emotional, carrying pure feeling instead of lyrics. Filtered arcs begin circling softly, giving motion and expectation as tension builds gently. The deep groove unfolds, percussion. A smooth lead synth rises above the rhythm, glowing form and a mellow texture. It's both energetic and soothing, the signature dreamwave deep sound. Steps back to let melody lead. A gentle piano riff plays through a lush delay tail, adding emotion and depth. The bass line flows smoothly beneath, keeping the hypnotic pulse alive. Ethereal paths shimmer like northern lights, soft, celestial, endless. The vocal layer hums in harmony, conveying longing without words. Drums fade completely. All that remains are the ambient pads, reverse synth tones, and a faint echo of the vocal line. The chord progression swells upward, evoking a dreamlike release, as if floating weightlessly through light. Small twinkling harps drift like starlight, hinting at the return of rhythm. Final drop, the guilty chill groove returns, but brighter. Paths shimmer more vividly. The kick and bass pulse a perfect flow. Vocal layers now feel closer, more emotional, almost tangible. Everything dances together in a blissful state. Night sky energy meeting ocean calm. This is the heart of the moonlight prism, reflective, warm, endlessly deep. Gradual fade out, percussion filters out first, leaving glowing pattern echoes. The final sound, a soft reverse tone, and the echo of her voice fading into moonlight. A cinematic, peaceful ending, closure without finality.
Soft ambient tones open the track. Distant wind chimes, filtered white noise, and a slow pad swell in shimmering blue hues. The kick slides in gently, deep and muffled at 120 BPM, pulsing like a heartbeat in space. A low, flowing bass line emerges, almost liquid in texture, guiding the listener to a deep nighttime rhythm. Reverb-drenched synth plucks sparkle faintly, like light reflecting off moonlit waves.
Subtle percussive layers, crisp hi-hat shakers and rim clicks begin weaving in. The shimmering pads bloom wider, filling the stereo field like mist. A distant female vocal layer enters, wordless, breathy, emotional, carrying pure feeling instead of lyrics. Filtered arcs begin circling softly, giving motion and expectation. As tension builds gently, the groove unfolds. A rolling sub-bass anchors the sound, while pads breathe in and out through sidechain compression. Airy vocal layers float across the mix like fragments of dreams. Every sound feels suspended, balanced perfectly between dance and meditation. A smooth lead synth rises above the rhythm, glowing with warm and mellow texture. It's both energetic and soothing, the signature dreamwave deep sound. Energy softens slightly, percussion steps back to let melody lead. A gentle piano riff plays through a lush delay tail, adding emotion and depth. The bass line flows smoothly beneath, keeping the hypnotic pulse alive. Ethereal paths shimmer like northern lights, soft, celestial, endless. The vocal layer hums in harmony, conveying longing without words. Break down, drop. Drums fade completely, all that remains are the ambient paths, reverse synth tones and a faint echo of the vocal line. The chord progression swells upward, evoking a dreamlike release, as if floating weightlessly through light. Small twinkling harps drift like starlight, hinting at the return of rhythm. Final drop. The full deep chill groove returns, but brighter paths shimmer more vividly. The kick and bass pulse in perfect flow. Vocal layers now feel closer, more emotional, almost tangible. Everything dances together in a blissful state. Night sky energy meeting ocean calm. This is the heart of the moonlight prism, reflective, warm, endlessly deep. Gradual Gradual fade out percussion filters out first, leaving glowing pads and echoes. The final sound, a soft reverse tone, and the echo of her voice fading into moonlight. A cinematic, peaceful ending, closure without finales. A distant ocean hum fades in, blending with airy ambient textures, gentle with noises and light vinyl crackle set. A nostalgic mood, a soft kick begins pulsing. At one hand, he becomes slow, relaxed and hypnotic. Warm deep pads float in stereo, moving like ocean waves under moonlight. Minimal percussion, soft hi-hats and delicate grips begin to emerge, painting a picture of motion and serenity. A lush chord progression rises, layered with subtle plugs that shimmer through reverb. The groove gently expands, you can feel the track slowly breathing. A distant vocal texture hums through the mix, not words, just toning, the feeling of floating underwater. The bassline starts rolling and softly round and smooth, guiding the rhythm into a calm flow. The full deep chill groove arrives, pads swell and contract with sidechain movement, giving the track its heartbeat. A soft mood bassline dances beneath dreamy synth leads that glide effortlessly between notes. The percussion remains understated, soft pumps and crisp pads, maintaining the track's intimacy. Everything feels balanced, like drifting through moonlit waves, endless, slow, hypnotic. Energy pulls back slightly, focus shifts to the melody. A single reverb-drenched electric piano riff floats through the mix. Emotional and wistful filtered pads wrap around it, shimmering in gentle stereo motion. You can almost see the tide rolling in and out, peaceful repetition with hidden melancholy. The drums fade away, leaving just pads and soft textures. Ocean sounds reappear, layered with reverse synth tones that feel like distant memories. A single vocal whisper echoes, ethereal, ghost-like, followed by silence. This section feels like floating in total stillness before the rhythm returns. Gradual fade out, pads dissolve into ambient textures, percussion slowly filters away. The track ends with the soft sound of waves fading into silence. A cinematic, deep, chill close.
Stereo, moving like ocean waves under moonlight. hidden melancholy. The drums fade away, leaving just parts and soft textures, motion, sounds reappear, layered with reverse synth tones that feel like distant memories. A single vocal whisper echoes ethereal, ghost-like followed by silence. The session feels like floating in total stillness before the rhythm returns. The final drop reviewed, holding the baseline round and the chords more emotional. Subtle extra layers, airy synth swells into late trails of that movement. It's like night turning slowly into dawn, still calm but full of quiet energy. Percussion unlocks perfectly with the flow, lifting up the emotional journey. Illogical percussion arises layered with silver plucks that shimmer through reverb. The groove gently expands, you can feel the track slowly breathing. A distant vocal texture hums through the mix, no words, just tone evolving the feel, bubbling with the water. The bassline starts rolling softly. Illogical percussion arises layered with silver plucks that shimmer through reverb. The groove gently expands, you can feel the track slowly breathing. A distant vocal texture hums through the mix, no words, just tone evolving the feeling of bubbling with the water. The bassline starts rolling softly.
With the track opens, the song with varying pads and filtered atmospheric effects, setting a spacious cinematic tone. A deep rounded kick enters a 124 BPM by a rolling sub bass that establishes the track's hypnotic pull. Subtle shimmer lightly in the background, introducing the melodic motif in a restrained, hypnotic motif in a restrained, mesmerizing manner. Ambient impedance, reverb walls, and soft echoes fill the stereo field, creating depth and immersion. By the end of the intro, the listener is fully absorbed in the hypnotic, progressive vibe. Built based on a rolling pulse, percussion layers, hi-hats, soft snares gradually enter, adding rhythmic motion while keeping energy smooth. Arpeggios grow brighter and more complex, weaving melodic patterns across the mix. Bats swell and filter sweeps create tension, build an anticipation for the main drop. The energy rises gently, maintaining the hypnotic flowing feel of progressive house. The full groove arrives, rolling bass, punchy kick, layered percussion, hypnotic fabrics and atmospheric texture expand, enhancing depth and emotional resonance. Melodic leads float subtly, intertwining with arpeggios to create mesmerizing. This energy is deep, immersive, and steadily driving typical of late-night progressive house sets. Listeners feel a trance-like flow carried forward by the hypnotic arrangement. Percussion eases slightly, melodic and arpeggiated elements take focus. Rolling bass continues to pulse hypnotically, maintaining groove continuity. Pads and harmonic layers evolve subtly, adding richness without overwhelming the track. Ambient effects and reverb tails enhance spaciousness, emphasizing the track's cinematic vibe. The mood is meditative, immersive, and emotionally ancient. Rhythm and bass stay partially, only arcs, pads, and ambient layers remain filtered. Synth swells create tension and anticipation for the final drop. Melodic motifs float across the stereo field, maintaining hypnotic engagement. The breakdown emphasizes space, reflection, and immersive progressive energy. All elements return: rolling bass, kick, percussion, ups, pads, and melodic layers. Automation introduces filter sweeps, fine dynamics, and subtle effects, movement, keeping textures alive. The groove remains hypnotic, deep and progressively driving without aggressive peaks. Listeners experience full immersion with trance-like flowing energy carrying through the mix. Although a groove of bass fade first, pads and ambient text linger, soft echoes and reverb tails gradually dissolve into silence. The track closes with a hypnotic, reflective, and deep progressive house atmosphere.
ethereal pads and filtered atmospheric effects, setting a spacious cinematic tone. A deep rounded kick enters at 1 to 4 beat by a rolling sub-bass that establishes the track's hypnotic pulse. Sub-emote shimmer lightly in the background, introducing a melodic motif and a strain of fear. Creative echoes fill the stereo field, creating depth and immersion. By the end of the intro, the listener is fully absorbed in the hypnotic progressive vibe. The bassline evolves, deepening the rolling pulse. Percussion layers, hi-hats, soft snares steadily enter, adding rhythmic motion while keeping energy smooth. Arpeggios grow brighter and more complex, weaving melodic patterns across the mix. Bass swell and filter sweeps create tension, build in anticipation for the main drop. The energy rises gently, maintaining the hypnotic flowing feel of progressive house. The full groove arrives, rolling bass, punchy kick, laid percussion, and hypnotic thirds. Feel of progressive house, main dropping hypnotic flowing fluid feel of progressive house. The full groove arrives, rolling bass, punchy kick, layer percussion, and hypnotic progressive house, main drop, gently maintain tonic fluid, but connects and harmonic layers evolve subtly, adding richness without overwhelming the track. Ambient effects and reverb tails enhance spaciousness, emphasizing the track's cinematic vibe. The mood is meditative, immersive, and emotionally engaging. Rhythm and bass fade partially, only arps, pads, and ambient layers remain. Filtered synth swells create tension and anticipation for the final drop. Melodic motifs float across the stereo field, maintaining hypnotic engagement. The breakdown emphasizes space, reflection, and immersive progressive energy. All elements return, rolling bass, kick, percussion, arps, pads, and melodic layers. Automation introduces filter sweeps, volume dynamics, and subtle episodes. Movement keeping textures alive. The groove remains hypnotic, deep and progressive, and driving without aggressive peaks. Listeners experience full immersion with trance-like flowing energy carrying through the mix. Groove arrives, rolling bass, punchy kick, layered percussion, and hypnotic beds and atmospheric textures expand, enhancing depth and emotional resonance. Melodic leads float subtly, intertwining with arpeggios to create a mesmerizing themes where energy is deep, immersive, and steadily driving. Typical of late-night progressive house sets, listeners feel a trance-like flow carried forward by the hypnotic arrangement.
Steady kick against the poster on 180 beeping through pulse at 1 keeping smooth and rounded, soft dark shimmer and the back to glass. Slowly rise, painting an image of midnight reflections over a tranquil sea. A subtle percussive rhythm emerges like person brush snares, giving the track motion. Melody becomes family hidden zone. Time feels suspended and you can almost breathe. The calm before the next rise. Final drop. The rhythm returns forward, deeper and warmer. Adds blue image layers. The bass pulses with precision. The notes glow brighter than before. There's an unspoken emotion here. Pacing the chord and gentle movement. Subtle automation lifts the sound. The liquid texture like tides rising and falling. Fitting with the oceanic rhythm. As there's no big tides. Deep, a new feeling and the face is smooth. Rhythm is smooth. A kick fades away, leaving only the pads and ambient sea waves. A final up goes softly, then dissolves into silence. A peaceful close, a peaceful close. The whistle close, the listener is left floating in sound. The whistle close, the listener is left floating in sound. Every sound feels deep and fluid, oceanic rhythm. This is all the tides, deep, emotional, and endlessly smooth. The kick fades away, leaving only the pads and ambient sea waves. The final up echoes softly, then dissolves into silence. A peaceful close. The listener is left floating in sound and stillness. stillness. Bright shimmer and silver tones, adding that signature Oceania chill touch. The kick, perfectly balanced, keeps a steady pulse, hypnotic but never aggressive. The atmosphere is lush, aquatic, and emotionally serene, perfect for late night deep sessions. Energy softens into a melodic interlude. Delicate piano notes echo faintly, resonating with the deep bass. The vocal layer returns more intimate now, whispering through the soundscape. The vocal layer now, whisperingly serene, perfect for late night deep sessions. Minimum percussion, enabled for late night deep sessions. The melody softens into a melodic interlude. Delicate piano notes echo faintly, resonating with the deep bass. The vocal layer returns more intimate now, whispering through the soundscape. The vocal layer now, whisperingly serene, perfect for late night deep sessions. Minimal percussion, enabled for late night deep sessions. Minimal percussion, enabled versions. The melody softens into a melodic interlude. Delicate piano notes echo faintly, resonating with the deep bass. The vocal layer returns more intimate now, whispering through the soundscape. The vocal layer now, whisperingly serene, perfect for late night deep sessions. The mellow percussion and we in slow time feel ethereal calm. It feels like drifting deeper into a dream, each element flowing seamlessly into the next. Breakdown, percussion fades out completely. A low sustains up at those. The space is crystalline, arms slowly expand. Ocean wave samples return, grounding the track in its aquatic identity. The melody becomes airy and slow, time feels suspended. You can almost breathe the calm before the next rise. Final drop, fuller drums. Final drop, fuller, deeper, and warmer.
Opens with divide, moving in hypnotic waves. Layers of reverb, rich plugs begin dancing softly across the stereo field. A female Vulcan emotion here, distant, wordless, emotional like an echo through mist. Sin sweeps add slow, building tension, preparing for the first raindrop. Every sound feels deep and fluid, evoking the sensation of floating. The raindrop unfolds, deep sub-bass flows like water, wrapping the listener in warmth. Soft arms sparkling off, creating an entrancing melody that feels both dreamy and grounded. Add shimmering silver tones, adding that signature Oceania chill touch. Kick, perfectly balanced, keeps a steady pulse, hypnotic but never aggressive. The atmosphere is lush, aquatic, and emotionally serene, perfect for late night deep sessions. Energy softens into a melodic interlude. Delicate piano notes echo faintly, resonating with the deep bass. The vocal layer returns more intimate now, whispering through the soundscape. Minimal percussion, evolving paths create an ethereal calm. It feels like drifting deeper into a dream, each element flowing seamlessly into the next. Percussion fades out completely. A low, sustained sub-pad fills the spaces. Crystalline arcs slowly expand. Ocean wave samples return, grounding the track in its aquatic identity. The melody becomes airy and slow. Time feels suspended. You can almost breathe the calm before the next rise. Final drop, fuller, deeper, and warmer. Pads blue in rich layers. The bass pulses with precision and mobs glow brighter than before. There's unspoken emotion here. Peace, nostalgia, gentle movement. Subtle automation gives the sound a liquid texture like tides rising and falling. Every note feels alive, breathing with oceanic rhythm. This is velvet tides deep, emotional, and endlessly smooth. The kick fades away, leaving only the pads and ambient sea waves. The final arc echoes soft and smoothly, complementing the lush chord progression. Light percussion elements, brushed snares, soft hi-hat, and referine, and melodic synth work smooth, adversarial area emotional, weaving through the pads. Reverb and delay effects stretch the stereo field, enhancing the cinematic depth. The energy builds gently, preparing the listener for the main groove while maintaining calm. Bass and kick pulse steadily, creating a smooth hypnotic rhythm. Lush chords expand across the stereo field, giving warmth and emotional weight. Arpeggiated synths and subtle melodies float above, enhancing the track's cinematic vibe. Atmospheric textures, soft reverb tails, airy vocal add depth and richness. Soft reverb tails, airy vocal balancing chill movements. Back slightly, melodic elements take focus. The bass line remains smooth and flowing, while a polish introduces gentle harmonic variations. Pads and chord layers swell subtly, maintaining a warm and reflective mood. Ambient textures, soft echoes, field recordings continue to fill the soundscape. Listeners experience a meditative, cinematic calm, as if watching a horizon at dusk. Rhythm fades, leaving lay paths on ambient textures. Slow synth rise adds gentle tension, create anticipation for the final drop. Atmospheric sounds, reverse sweeps, airy textures enhance the cinematic space. The breakdown feels expansive, reflective, and emotionally immersive. All elements return: bass, kick, lush chords, and melodic synths. Automation adds dynamic swells, filter movement, and depth to the textures. The groove remains calm and smooth, emphasizing emotional resonance over energy. Cinematic layers interact seamlessly, creating a deep, immersive listening experience. The track reaches its peak emotional depth without losing its chill, progressive feel. Bass and kick pulse steadily dissolve. The track closes with a serene, cinematic atmosphere.